Canelo, I was born ready. That's what he used to say back in the day before he got his behind handed to him by Floyd Mayweather. Canelo came out and he's talking about how people need to to fight other fighters that he's going to face. They need to respect his A side. That he's on top and he worked his way up to get to the place where he's at right now, and people need to respect it. I guess he might be saying that just due to the fact that people are turning down the deals that he's offering and saying, nah, we good, and going into a different direction. And the thing with that is that, okay, yes, we understand that you're quote the A side. You're up there when it comes to one of the main people in boxing, but that doesn't, just because you quote have that A side, it doesn't mean that you can just throw out whatever and people just have to take it. It doesn't mean that. If people are consistently turning down your deals and saying no, then there's a problem. At the end of the day, you still have to get things done. You look at somebody like a Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was the A side of all A sides, but he pretty much got all the deals that he wanted done. He got all the deals done. The only one that had a hiccup that took a long time was with the Manny Pacquiao. And even with the Manny Pacquiao, he agreed to the glove size Manny wanted. He agreed to the ring size Manny wanted. He was willing to agree to the ref and the judges that Manny Pacquiao wanted. Manny Pacquiao wanted a 10 mil per pound clause if Floyd Mayweather was above weight. If he went over 100 contracted weight, I guess of 147 pounds. No one's ever asked anything like that before. He gave him that too. He said, you can have all that. You can have everything that you want. And he gave him a complete, even though Manny Pacquiao wasn't generating the money that he was generating, he still also offered Manny Pacquiao a straight up 50-50 split. And this is the guy that's the A side. He's the A side, yet he gave this guy all the things that he wanted. And the only thing that he was asking for was for a random blood and urine test. And even with the random blood and urine test, he was willing to have blood and urine testing stopped 1 week before the fight. He wasn't willing to make it a 2 week, a 3 week like Manny Pacquiao wanted to, or 1 month like Manny wanted to. But he was willing to, cut it, have a 1 week cutoff. The last week before the fight, he was willing to cut off the random blood and urine testing. So even though he was an A side, he still conceded to a lot of different things in order to get the fight done. Even when he fought against Conor McGregor, it was the same type of thing. Dana White said he thought he was going to have all these issues, all these problems when it came to making that fight, but he said surprisingly that wasn't the case. They were able to negotiate, everything was smooth, and he got it done. Miguel Cotto, everybody thought that was going to be hard. And I remember when rumors came out, Dan Rafael was putting out rumors that, the fight wasn't being done, or Floyd was doing this, Floyd trying to make Floyd look bad in the situation. Cotto came out and said there is nothing going wrong with negotiation. Everything is cool, everything is smooth, and, we should have this done in a little bit. I remember Dan Rafael came out a couple of times talking out his tail, and every single time, Cotto was like, nah, we good. I don't know what those reports are coming from, but we straight. He always got everything done. So, even though you're the A side, you still, part of being in the A side is understanding that you still can't just throw whatever at people and then expect them to just take it because you're, quote, the A side. Just be, quote, they're fighting you. When you are that top guy, when you are, quote, the face of boxing, you have to understand that people are going to want a big prize to fight you. And you also have to understand that you generate, Canelo is guaranteed his money. But usually in general, especially when it comes to pay-per-views, you still have to understand that you still need that B side in order to make those big fights. Without Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd was a B side in that situation. But without Oscar De La Hoya, they're not doing the highest grossing fight in in history at that particular time. They're not doing that. At the time, without Canelo Alvarez, Floyd Mayweather's not doing one of the highest, if not the highest generating fight of all time. You still needed that particular B-side in order to make it happen. You still needed Manny Pacquiao to have the highest generating fight of all time. You still needed Conor McGregor to make it the second highest grossing fight of all time. The fan base that he was bringing, even though, quote, Floyd was an A-side, the fan base that Conor McGregor was bringing, he needed that in order to make the event what it was. You know, even with Deontay Wilder was a clear A-side when it came to Tyson Fury. He didn't have to give Tyson Fury an inch. He didn't even have to give him that fight. Tyson Fury is over here getting 3,000 people coming to his fights. 1,500 people, 6,000 people, then 1,500, then 3,000 people coming to his fights in America. Like, you know, Wilder didn't have to give him 50-50. He didn't have to give him 50-50. And he was the straight up A-side. He had just with the one who was just coming off what's called another pay-per-view against Ortiz, doing over 300,000 pay-per-views. But he still but even though he was the A-side, he still understood, okay, this is what's going to take in order to make this particular fight happen. And he did it, you know, and in doing so was part of one of the greatest events in boxing in the history of boxing. People are going to be talking about this for months, and when they fight again, you know how big that fight's going to be? You're looking at probably 2 million plus with that next fight. You're definitely looking at 1 million plus in the UK when they fight. You know, and there's no way that Wilder would have been able to grasp that, you know, demographic of the UK fans without him. You know what I mean? The fact that, you know, he was fighting Tyson Fury is also part of the fact that they were able to get, you know, the gate as big as it was. It was because of Deontay Wilder, but it was also, you know, part of, you know, Tyson Fury and the UK fans being so rabid and willing to come down here and pay those big boy dollars that they had to pay in order to get, you know, to get those tickets. You know? But he understood that, you know, and in doing so, you know, did what was necessary to make the fight happen. You know? And so, you know, so Canelo needs to look at those things and look at those two people, you know, and understand, you know, it's more than being the A side doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, you just got to do everything that I want you to do. That's not how it goes. Even with Earl Spence and Mikey Garcia, Earl Spence and Sean Porter, you know, I'm sure it just wasn't a thing where, oh, you just got to do whatever the hell I want you to do. You just got to take whatever money I give you, and that's it. If you want the fight, you take it. If not, then forget you. Nah, that's not the way it worked. That's not the way it works. Regardless if you're, quote, the A side or not, you know, and that's the one thing that Canelo has to understand. You still need these big fights, especially when you're in a closed platform like you are in. If you want, because you're not making any more money. I mean, you're not generating enough viewerships on DAZN to make any additional money off that. But those gates still mean something. You know what I'm saying? The bigger the fighter you're facing, the bigger the gates. So depending on who you're facing, you're still losing millions of dollars. The fact that you keep minimizing, you know, you keep, you know, your fan base, like when it comes to people going to your fights, it keeps decreasing now. It's decreasing, and that money is getting less and less and less. That does affect you. You know, we know Golden Boy is taking a substantial amount of your money. They're able to run the entire company off what they're getting off of you. You know, like in the court papers, when Oscar De La Hoya sued PBC, it said something was like 91 or 93% of all revenue that Golden Boy was getting was from Canelo Alvarez fights. So even though Canelo Alvarez is making a boatload of money, he's still being hustled. I mean, he's still a substantial amount of his money that's still going to Oscar De La Hoya and it's going to Golden Boy. You know, and yes, he is good. He's straight, but you know, there is additional millions of dollars he can generate and he can get. You know, and he's gonna need those B-sides, especially those top tier known B-sides, in order to make that happen. So even though you're, quote, the A side, you still need to show respect to those people that you're talking to and you're negotiating with, you know, and understand that to get to a certain level, you still need them, just like Floyd needed the people that he fought. You know, just like Wilder needed a Tyson Fury to bring things to the level that, you know, those two were able to do together. You know, same goes for you. You're not special. If Floyd Mayweather needed those, you need those too. And if Floyd Mayweather, with the amount of money he was making, 50, 80, 100, $300 million. If he gave those people that respect still, you should be doing the same. You know, but it is what it is. We'll see who he ends up fighting. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.